right, welcome. TransTrem Thursday. Got to start out with a TransTrem riff, all right? All right. How's everybody tonight? Let's check out the chat. Let's see who we got. We have, let's see, let me scroll all the way up top here. We'll catch everybody that started and came in early. R2R3, Patty Dill, Mr. Mick. Patty Dill again, Mr. Mick. Let's see, Mike Olson. Oh, the chat's going. Let's see. Mike Olson, Six Fingered Assault. How's it going? Let's see. We have Kurt 5150. Welcome in, dudes. Oh, we got somebody at the door. Let's see who we got. We have from the Windy City, Chicago, Mr. R2R3. Welcome in, dude. Let's say hello to a couple more people here in the chat. We had Kurt 5150. We had, let's see. Mike Olson, Quentin James.
What the?
New to the channel. Welcome in. Glad to have you. Symmetry. Great White North. Let's see. We also have Graphite and Cigars. Welcome in. Johnny Bean. Hello from California. What's going on, Johnny? Welcome.
Johnny.
We have, let's see, who else? Dan Gorman saying hello from Texas. Dan, let me know if you got your package yet. He was the winner of the giveaway last Thursday. Let's see. Stephen Franklin. How's it going? Welcome. Who else we got? Rob Blackmore Official. Welcome in. Got a bunch of people in here tonight. Appreciate everybody joining in. Let's see. Janice Lala.
Janice.
Welcome, Janice. Hip Metalworks. Welcome in. Welcome in. Oh, who else we got?
Who's knocking?
We have the animal, Mr. Robbie Stengel. Welcome in, Robbie. How's it going for you today?
It's Kramer time.
Kramer time.
It is Kramer time.
Let's see. We got more in the chat here. We got Zach Thong. What's up, brother? We got Mark's Gas Station. Welcome. Thomas Santiago. Let's see. Who else we got? Chat just keeps on rolling. Trying not to miss anybody. Octopus Ears. Welcome in, dude. Let's see who else we got. Looks like that's it for now. So we'll have some more rolling in. We got 23 watching already. Wow. Thank you, guys.
Man. Yeah.
Appreciate everybody coming in and hanging out for a bit. Be sure to do a thumbs up. And if you haven't subscribed, you haven't said anything in the chat yet, give me a subscribe. I appreciate it.
Yeah, I'd like to welcome Kurt 5150 to the chat here.
Awesome.
Quentin James, welcome,
Yep.
brothers.
Yep. Yeah, thank you for the shout out, R2R3. That was really cool.
Absolutely, man. Yeah, have some fun with my little avatar. What do you call it?
Got Guitar Man 45 is strolling in. Welcome in. Welcome in. Oh, somebody else here? Who we got? Oh, from the Great White North, we have Mr. Trev. How's it going, dude?
There he is.
Hey. Ray-Ban Paradise here.
So what's going on with you today, Trev?
I got in a mood for some chicken. So I doing up something I haven't done for a while, a little chicken fricassee.
Hmm.
Oh, all right.
Did you bring enough to share with the class?
Pardon?
Did you bring enough to share with the class today?
20 plus 4. Yeah, we could do it.
Yeah. Hound 36 Solo, welcome in, dude.
What's up, dude?
Let's see. All right.
I thought he was going to say beer can chicken.
So
Windy out right now for the grilling.
Right.
So Robbie, how did your you did some stuff on was it Metalhead Hippie the other night? How'd that turn out for you?
Oh yeah, that was really good, man. Bunch of people went over there, to support me. And it was terrific, man. It was great.
Awesome.
And then he had me on Tuesday's metal show, too. And
Cool.
that was pretty terrific. I did Lunchbox Jam, all 8 minutes of it.
Nice.
But yeah.
Awesome, man.
So anybody in the chat that hasn't checked out Robbie's channel, go check him out. He's putting out all kinds of shorts and all kinds of little cover songs, playing his acoustic, all his different Kramers, all his different guitars. Cool stuff, man.
Yeah, yesterday I did Wild Thing, Jimi Hendrix version.
Mm-hmm.
And then I played the national anthem with my teeth.
Teeth are still holding up, huh?
Oh, man, I don't know how you do that.
Yeah.
Been doing it since I was 17, man.
Right.
I got it overbite.
It's just enough to catch the strings the right way, huh?
Yeah, it's nothing new.
I don't know, man. I tried that. It feels like biting on aluminum or something.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. You get
Well,
that
you don't bite. Yeah,
twangy
you don't
metal
bite
feeling in your mouth.
You strike the string like going up like this.
Okay, so you don't actually catch it underneath. You're
No,
moving upward.
not at all.
Okay, that makes a little more sense. Didn't catch James G. Welcome in. Nice to see you in the chat.
James G.
Lots of people tonight. Again, appreciate you all coming and hanging out. So, what do we do tonight? Oh yes, TransTrem Thursday. Was anybody really interested in seeing the final video of that?
100%.
Yeah. Well, the video seemed to kind of start tanking a little bit. I didn't get a whole lot of views on the second one, so I wasn't as motivated to make the final one. So I figured I'd just do it kind of live here.
Right on.
So I have just a quick little video. I know that there's some people that were really interested in the TransTrem and the little jaws that are in there. And when I was putting it back together and I was recording the video, the only thing that was interesting was this little part. So if you don't mind, I'll play this little video for you. It's about 50 seconds long. So again, this was the rebuild of the TransTrem that's in this guitar here. So obviously, as you can see, everything's back together, and I was just playing it, so obviously it works. So I didn't kill it.
Right,
but one thing that I didn't get to show real closely was the jaws and how they differ. So let me show this video just real quick. So this is the high E string to the low E string. So the high E string, the B string, and the G string are all three different.
G string.
You can see the different areas that the string sits up top, almost to the bottom, and then way down on the bottom on that one there. These three for the D, the A, and the E are the same. So you have actually 4 different jaws, and they do have to go back in their exact spot or they will not transpose properly. So let's get these put back in. And then ta-da, they're all put back in. So that was really the only interesting thing that was left, I think, was just to show those jaws and how they differed a little bit. And again, that's, they pull the strings at a different rate based on how the string sets in that jaw. So if anybody's ever been wondering exactly how that TransTrem works, watch the first 2, and then obviously what we talk about tonight, and you'll kind of understand. But I missed a couple comments in the chat. Let's see. I saw a question. Let's see. Mr. Mick said he was interested. Mike Olson was interested. Somebody had asked a question.
Mike Olson.
There it is. Can you tell the big difference after the rebuild? It seems to be smoother. It is a little more stiffer than the stock spring that was in there. And it just feels more solid, I guess.
Sturdier.
little sturdier. Yeah. I didn't really have much, those bearings, they were really crunchy, when I would turn them, when I took them out. And I didn't really feel that before, but now with the new bearings, I can tell that it's way, way smoother, but it is much stiffer and it feels a lot like my other Steinberger. So it's more consistent feel for me between the two guitars. I know that's a big problem to have two guitars with a TransTrem. I know.
That's a rough life. Let me ask you something real quick, Ryan.
Yeah.
I know you mentioned before that you looked at an old photo of Eddie's guitar that wasn't headless.
Right.
And you were using the adjustment, the picture as a guide.
Yep.
Why do you think it's different than the normal headless TransTrem? Is it because of the tuning pegs? Is it the locking nut, or?
It's because of the length of the string. So
Okay, there you go.
when you have a double ball, string,
That makes sense.
and you stretch it out, it's only obviously going to be that long. And the length of the string and the tension that's on it, I don't completely understand it, but this is what I've figured out, is that the jaws to the nut, wherever the string, stretches from, has to be a certain length.
Yeah.
And I was having some troubles, even between string changes. I was having to really, really tweak with it. And then I finally found that picture that showed exactly where the jaws go.
Yeah.
So I lined these jaws up exactly like it was a picture of Eddie's PV Wolfgang with this in it. So I lined these up exactly where he had the dots in the center. And lo and behold, I put the strings on and it was nearly dead on. I had to do a little tweak. And there's some leeway that you can get with the system, but that put the strings at just nearly the perfect length, because obviously, when you have the locking nut on the end, it completely changes, where your 0 point is.
Yeah.
The Steinberger being headless, there's a 0 fret right here. And then your ball end clips into a little device down here. So it is a certain specific length from, where that pulls from. So you have to find that length from here. And luckily, I saw that picture and he had those dots on there. I was like, oh, that's how they figured that out. And I bet you it took somebody quite some time to get that figured out for him on that guitar. So I was real thankful that I found that picture.
Now it makes you wonder why the individual who had that guitar sold it.
Who did what?
So did you find that guitar at a pawn shop or you found it at a music store?
Oh, the person that had this guitar.
Yeah.
There were actually, there were two guitars at this local guitar store from the same builder. There was a guitar that it was the same shape and same kind of custom build, and it was an amber top. It had a Roland synth down here in it. Excuse me, but it had a regular Floyd on it. So somebody had them made, I guess, and they owned both of them. I don't know why they went ahead and got rid of them. Who knows why people get rid of stuff.
Yeah.
But when I picked it up at the music store, the TransTrem would not transpose properly.
Right.
And the guy that was there, he says, I don't know anything about that thing.
Right. And that's what leads me to believe that sometimes people sell gear because they don't understand it or they don't know how to fix it. That's how I found my Jackson Kelly. When I found it at Guitar Center, when you picked it up, you would think it's a complete mess. The Floyd Rose was all the way dipped back. The locking nut was so low that it was just buzzing on the first fret. So I picked it up right away, and you couldn't even play anything. Yeah. But I looked over at my other guitar player, and he saw the look in my eyes, and I go, I know what to do with this thing, man. I already have a Floyd Rose at home. I got a locking nut. I'll just shim it up a little bit. I know what to do with it. Brought it home, fixed it like that. That thing's mint now. I mean, it stays in tune. And I sat there and I go, I think someone got rid of this because they just gave up on it.
They were frustrated with it.
Frustrated with it and just said, I'm selling it. And so when you said you bought that guitar, I'm like, somebody must have just not understood the mechanics of that whole system and went like, done. Let somebody else deal with this.
Yep. I think that's probably what it was. And, you know, I was lucky enough that I had one at home. I was like, man, if I have to just compare it and, you know, see what I can do. And I know it works because I've used one.
Right.
So I was like, it was well worth the investment to pick this thing up, you know. And I figured that I might have to do a rebuild on it, or I was planning to send it to Jeff Babbitt's, who used to work at Steinberger. And, you know, he had said that it would be around $500 to rebuild it. He probably would have replaced some parts that are worn out on here, and it's, you know, was probably well worth that to do that. But I kind of wanted to dive into it myself and see what I could figure out. And so, you know, now I can say I've taken one apart and I know the inner workings of it, and I kind of know some of the secrets to get it to transpose like it should. So I'm pretty happy that I found it. Yeah.
Wow, that's cool, man. I thank you for sharing the wealth, the knowledge.
Absolutely, absolutely. Can you guys hear that? So, anybody that doesn't really know what a TransTrem does in the chat, and if you've been following my channel or Johnny's channel or anybody's channel and you like Van Halen, you should know what a TransTrem does. But here's standard E tuning, and then here's up one step. And then it'll go up another step. So that's the Summer Nights intro tuning. And then from standard tuning, you can then drop it down one step. Another step. And then a final third step. I got just a little more tweaking to do to it. That third final step down, which is what he plays the outro to Fire in the Hole in. You know, the strings are just so floppy.
I was going to comment on your short when you did that video. I'm like, how do the strings feel?
Yeah, they're really, really super floppy. I can show you here. I mean, this is...
Oh, yeah.
So you have to be real careful with your touch. But, you know, technically it's in tune all the way down. I mean, come on, how cool is that, right?
Amazing, man. It still boggles my mind how someone came up with that.
And what boggles the mind even more is that this is from 1980s technology.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that's just crazy. Nobody has come up with anything, unless it's some kind of weird, you know, Digitech whammy pedal or something that sounds kind of fake. But, yeah, it still amazes me. So...
I'll have to send you a YouTube video of somebody who can actually do that. They put this device on their guitar, and they're using the whammy bar, and they're doing the same recreation of what you're doing, but without the actual mechanism.
Yeah, I think I saw that. It's Kurt somebody, I think is the name.
Yeah, I gotta look it up.
I listened to it and I was like, yeah, you know, that could work in a pinch, but it still doesn't sound the same.
Right.
I mean, it's cool, but it's just
to
not.
Go like on stage live if you're stuck.
Yeah. It's just not the same. Stephen Franklin is asking, where do you find the bridge system? I don't know. I've got rabbit's feet coming out of my rear end, I think, when I found this one. So you can look on eBay and occasionally find one. If you want to get a refurbished or restored Steinberger, that would be your best bet. Look on Reverb for any kind of TransTrem guitar, or headlessusa.com, and they have some restored Steinbergers. That's going to be about the only way you're going to find one. Unless anybody else knows of a secret place to find them.
That, or like you said, you never know if Gibson may do something with it.
Yep,
This year's NAMM. Wouldn't that be cool?
It would
The
be.
NAMM show.
You know, it would not surprise me. I would be happily, elated if they did.
Yeah, man.
Janice says that's cool and she wants one. Robbie James G says, don't look so excited sitting there. John DeShane, welcome in, brother.
God. What's up, Six Fingered?
Six Fingered. How's it going? Let's see. Okay, I'm caught up with the chat.
I'm surprised there wasn't more guys trying to figure that thing out and write music with it. I did have the Steve Vai Zoom hang earlier today, but I didn't get a chance to ask him a question because it's still, the next time I talk to him, I'm going to ask him if he ever did play with one, and if he did, what did he think of it? And was it probably one of those things where it's, I don't want to. If that's Eddie's thing, let him do it. I don't want to.
That's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking that maybe once Eddie did that everybody was like,
they want to try to copycat.
Yeah, exactly.
Who was that? I think it was Zach Wilde. I think I saw an interview, and his thing is the pinch harmonic. The squealies, and he was talking about he couldn't do the tapping, he couldn't do some of the stuff that other guitar players were doing. So
the classical thing.
Yeah, that was kind of the only thing that was left for him, was just to come up with these little squealy sounds.
Yeah, well, so he went pentatonic, but Jeff could always play guitar. He kind of tried to do different stuff, but basically, I think his roots was really blues. So pentatonic worked well. And I really like the stuff you did with Ozzy. So.
Stephen Franklin had another question. It says, doesn't the locking nut take the headstock out of the equation? Yeah, it does, but you still have the string length.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Right, you're messing with the scale length a little bit, where the end of the string is, on the headless, it's a little longer. On the locking nut, it's a little shorter. So you have to compensate for that, or you won't be able to hit it.
Yeah. Your string for this to work has to be the exact length that it's supposed to be. So you have to find that sweet spot. Your scale obviously is done with the rollers, and setting your intonation, and it's installed to where it's going to be your proper scale length. But yeah, it's that string length that you're worried about from where that locks down.
Well, Kurt 5150 says Edward got his first Steinberger while on tour for Diver Down. There's a fun
right there. So that would have been, what year would that have been?
It's 82, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That would have. That sounds about right. I think he got two of them. He had two GL2Ts. Actually, he had a third one. He had the OU812 as a 12 string. So I know he had at least three Steinbergers. Edwin Crane, welcome.
Edwin, what's up, Edwin?
Says the times I played a TransTrem, I can count on two hands. Yeah, they're few and far between. It was one of those, everybody after seeing Live Without a Net and that little Steinberger, when I was a kid, I was like, what is that? And just had to have one.
Well, I got to say, Edwin Crane, he received the Electro Harmonics small clone from the giveaway. So,
Edwin?
congratulations.
Sweet action, Edwin.
Mr. Mick says, do you know why no one makes guitars with the TransTrem in it? I think that Klein Guitars still does. And I think a company called RBK Precision or something like that may make them for them.
Something happened with the patent. I think the patent must have ran out and somebody must have purchased it.
I believe that I heard Ned Steinberger recently had said, the patent is up. And why hasn't anybody else made these and ran with it?
Yeah.
So I think that anybody, if you copy it and machine it and make it, that you could use it.
You can use it. Yeah.
I think it's still to this day, people just really don't understand how to make it work properly.
And I honestly thought when I've talked about this before, the Evertune, I thought that company was going to purchase that and run with it.
Yep. And that's how I kind of always thought the TransTrem worked, was with springs and counterbalancing, and you know, you got this tension on that string and it pulls more or releases, but nope.
It's different.
Let's see. Six Fingers says he's forgot about the OU went one to Steinberger. Yep. It was a 12 string. I believe you can probably find some pictures of it online somewhere. Robbie Edwin says that he loves it was a pedal that you sent to him.
Yeah.
Very cool. Very cool.
Glad you like it, man. Glad it works.
25-year patent. Is that what it was?
Yeah.
On the TransTrem? Yeah. So yeah, there we go. You know, the setup of it after I rebuilt it, I've talked about how you have to lock it into the standard tuning, tune it, and then you adjust this little wheel that's underneath here to adjust the tension when you unlock it. So if it pops out and it goes sharp, then you've got, you got to put more, is it more tension? Less tension, so that it comes back up. Sort of like you would a floating Floyd, how you adjust the claws, with those springs. You got to get it adjusted back to the 0 position. And then once you have that, I've got a video of the process of going through and calibrating it and so forth. I went ahead and bought a little, see if I can find it here in my tools. Yep. It's not really necessary, but it's kind of nice to have. It's a little T-handle.
Right.
With the little screwdriver end in it.
Right.
And that fits right over the little jaw screws and makes it a little more handy to adjust the thing.
Well, the socket.
You need the right tools so you don't strip it.
Yeah.
Kind of like the tailpiece of Les Paul, where sometimes you see people just use a regular screwdriver and they dig in there and they start adjusting it and you see all the stripping on there.
Yep. Well, these are, I think, so soft that if you push a regular screwdriver in there, it can actually spread them out. So I was having trouble getting that tool on my other guitar. So I'm thinking I'm going to have to go in and put some needle nose, with some paper towels or something and kind of squeeze them back together a little bit. Yep. James G says live without a net is the greatest live recording ever. I agree with that. I'm sure there's some other good stuff out there, but for us Van Halen fans, that's probably
Van Halen
it.
fans, yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah.
They look like they had fun up there too. Just the vibe, the energy.
Steve Franklin says, can you put it on camera and change positions? Yeah, absolutely. Let me get resituated here a little bit so I can show you a little bit better. Let's see.
Yeah.
All right, how's that? Is that a pretty good view right there?
Not too bad.
I know I got some reflection coming off, but let me move this out of the way here a little bit. Okay, so that should be a pretty good view of it there, eh?
Yep.
All right, let me turn it up just a little bit. just going to hit an A chord here. See this little locking mechanism right here that has little teeth on this piece here, and it locks into this little post right here. So if you want to go up higher, just pull up and then lock it into the next groove.
You have to move the bar, correct? You have to move the bar up and then to the right to lock it?
Yeah. So you can see, well, maybe you can't see. Let me reach around this way. Oh man, I'm really losing light and everything. So you see the little locking mechanism moving there, right? Right here, where my thumb is.
Okay, thank you.
That's a little better. So this locking mechanism right here, as you move the bar, see how it pulls?
I see it now. Yeah.
This stupid camera.
Focus.
Yeah. So as you pull up or push down, it lines up with little grooves in that bar there.
Okay.
Let me move this. Real cluttered here on my desk. I'm gonna pull your comment down so we can see. There we go.
There you go.
Sorry, it's hard to play guitar when it's on the table.
No, that sounds good, man.
But you can kind of see how that works. So, and then if you're playing like Get Up, you know, you just use the bar without having to lock it in anywhere. Let's see.
That is awesome, man.
Pretty cool, eh?
TransTrem Thursday, folks.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's only so much you can talk about on a TransTrem, though, right?
We'll get there. And start over, do it over again.
Yeah. So hopefully, you know, everybody could kind of see how that works.
It's kind of like one of those old Hurst dual gate shifters where, you know, the one side was straight up and down, and then the other side, where you could slap it up and hit that notch, and then the next notch. It's kind of a staggered ladder thing where you...
You know, it's funny. I've thought that exact same thing because I used to have a 67 Oh, uh-oh. There we go. I used to have a 67 Chevy 2 Nova that had the B&M Z-Gate shifter in it.
Yeah.
And yeah, you pop that thing down and you could hit it just as hard as you needed to, and it would, you know, slam in and drop that gate.
You know, Johnny used to have string change Sunday. That would have been interesting for you to bring that guitar on and do a string change.
Well, it's still a possibility. You know, I don't know how many people would actually sit and watch me change strings on this and then go through a setup.
I'd watch it. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, for sure.
Well, that's certainly an idea. I was actually thinking of changing these strings too. So Sunday's coming up.
Might see.
It's always an idea.
There you go, man.
Thomas.
It's always a curiosity. I always wanted to see how someone changed the strings on it. There's
You're
no
welcome,
videos.
Steve. Let's see. Z-Gate shifter is the best. Yep, I always enjoyed it.
NPN.
MPN had one in my 70 Monte Carlo.
There you go.
Yep. Yeah, exactly, Six Finger. That's what I'm thinking. String change Sunday, 4 hours later. Mr. Mick is asking, have you been playing the Shark guitar a lot? How's the tone compared to the other EVH Stripe guitars? You know, it's interesting that, you know, I've been playing it as much as I can, you know, with the short time that I've had it. And one thing that I need to correct is...
There it is.
I believe I said that this was a rosewood board that's on here. It's actually, how do you say that? A Pal Faro board?
Yeah. Pal
So
yeah.
I needed to correct that. It also has
But
Wolfgang. Go ahead.
I'm sorry. It is an ash body, correct?
It is an ash body. Yep. Yep. And it's a set neck that's on it.
Yeah.
But they describe these as Wolfgang Shark pickups. Does anybody know why?
No, I thought they were just Wolfgangs.
They are specifically made for this guitar because the pickup leads have to be super long to go up this channel and to the switch up there.
You know,
So
I thought it had to do with the spacing, like the F spacing.
Yeah. So it's braided wire that goes, you know, it has to be super, super long so that it goes all the way up there. So if you have to get a replacement pickup for one of these, I guess you have to order a special Wolfgang Shark pickup. But as far as the whine and everything, I think they're the same. Each guitar has its own tone. You know, this guitar, it's really, really crisp. It's really, really clear. And it's, you know, all the guitars sound fantastic. But this one has a very, very nice kind of clean string separation tone to it.
Nice.
So, yeah, it's been really, really good. You know, they're all the same pickup, supposedly, but each guitar sounds a bit different.
Hey, there's 38 people here watching. We should see 38 thumbs up.
Yeah, we definitely need some more thumbs up.
Thumbs up, everybody.
Yeah, let's get some thumbs up in the
Are
channel.
you lurking out there? The lurkers, throw a thumb up.
Well, anybody that's lurking, if we should happen to do a giveaway and they're not typing in the chat, then
You're not
they're
a wiener.
not eligible. Yep.
You will not be a wiener.
You will not be a wiener. Let's see. Man, the chat is just going. Octopus ears. If I hit the like button, it'll take away a like. I can't do it. No. Yeah, don't hit it twice. Don't hit it twice.
Odd numbers only.
Steve Franklin says, I thought it had to do with the missing wood. Must be talking about the Shark guitar. It, you know, sounds great to me. I think that, Robbie, what guitar was that you were talking about that at the Kramer factory kept coming apart and breaking?
Yeah, well, that was the Ibanez body that Edward cut the piece out of for the photo shoot.
That's true.
Yeah. Pretty much took the picture with it. And that was kind of it. Then it broke in half. You know, and that was like in 82 when they got it back to the factory. Because I believe he did that in like pretty early.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, of course, I didn't get there till beginning '84, but I had a friend work there, and I knew the head of guitars that worked there, and he described this litany of breakages. They would glue it together, paint it, assemble it, and sit it on the rack. They'd come in the morning, and it'd start cracking apart. By the afternoon, it was separated totally.
Mm.
They put dowels in it, right? Put dowels in it, and glued it together. The next day, came apart. When I was there in '84, we were still trying to fix that thing.
So it was not the actual Shark guitar. It was another guitar meant to look like that.
No, it was the one that he cut.
But the Destroyer? Ibanez Destroyer.
It was his Ibanez Shark Destroyer.
Yep.
Hmm.
And we kept on trying to repair it. It was like a lost cause. We couldn't do it.
So that's why I wonder if, like, when Charvel made him the Star guitar, where he replaced the neck. I mean, because that kind of emulates what he was trying to do with the Shark when he cut out that piece, is to make that Explorer shape and then that V cut in the bottom.
Well, you have to figure which year that is in Charvel, because he had a heck of a falling out with Grover.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we can ask Kurt 5150. He's a good expert at these. I would say, but he played that Star guitar. That was one of his favorite guitars. I want to say, what, 81? Correct me
That
if
would
I'm
make
wrong.
sense, because he didn't have a falling out with Grover till the end of the second tour, when he came back and saw some guy playing one.
Yeah.
That Bumblebee that Grover was
Somebody
painting
posted a
inside.
picture. I think it was in exclusively Van Halen, that it was Rick James band, and the dude was playing what looked like a Bumblebee guitar.
Yeah. Well,
And
look, I know a lot of players that were playing those guitars back in the early days. I know the falling out here. Kurt 5150 says a Charvel made the Star guitar for him in 1979 on the VH2 tour.
wow.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
I'm going to get to Quentin's question here real quick. He says, if you poke a finger while changing strings, do you A, scream like a little girl, B, cry like a little girl, C, try to hold in screaming and crying like a little girl? Me personally, I have some muffled F-bombs, and I just grimace and continue and carry on unless I'm bleeding everywhere.
Cuss
I
and
try
carry
not
on.
to bleed. I try not to bleed on the guitar. That's what I do.
Well, Quentin once told me that. Quentin told me if you break a string, you just got to sell a guitar and buy a new one.
Oh, man. That's like saying if your tires wear out, you got to go buy a new car.
Yeah.
But hey, I guess if it works, it works.
I'll be back in 10 minutes. I got to go check on my chicken and start some rice.
You got to do what with your chicken?
Check on the chicken.
Oh.
Oh!
All right, we'll see you in a bit. Oh, goodness. All right, let me check the chat here for some more questions or comments. John DeShane says, I enter myself in the TransTrem giveaway.
Yes.
When I hit 1 million subscribers, I'll give this one away.
Type in hashtag TransTrem.
Make sure you're around when I hit that. Let's see. Blackjack Guitar, welcome in. I'm assuming that's what your name means. Blackjack Guitar. Yeah. Let's see. Kurt 5150 says Wolfgang is using that Ibanez Shark on his new album. I read an article where he said he was going to use all the guitars. On his previous album, I think that he had used the Frankenstein on a couple of rhythm tracks and then a lead track for a couple songs. And there was a new article stating that he was going to continue to use, some of his dad's old guitars. R2, R3 probably has something that he's going to go check on that about. Let's see. Kurt 5150, yeah, Charvel made the Star in 1979 on the VH2 tour. Very cool.
What's up, Tim Thomas?
Tim Thomas. There he is. Welcome in.
Oh.
Let's see, what else you guys talking about?
Quentin James. Oh, no, R2. I said my guitar goes out of tune, I throw it away and buy a new one. Oh, okay.
There we go. That's one way to take care of it. What if the new one that you've bought is out of tune when you buy it? Mr. Mick has a question for Robbie. He says, what are your thoughts on today's Kramer? Do you like the quality of them? Oh, here we go.
Here's a picture of Wolfgang with the Shark guitar.
Nice.
And there's the Rode guitar.
Mm-hmm.
And I believe that's Edward's Wolfgang down there.
Mm-hmm. I've kind of wondered why maybe he doesn't use like his dad's rack gear. You know, he just has a little pedal board. I guess that's, you know, every guitarist is comfortable with what they're comfortable with.
Yeah.
Yeah. So let's get back to Mr. Mick's question. Robbie, what are your thoughts on the new Kramer stuff?
Okay. You want me to be absolutely honest here, or you want me to like toe the company line?
I think that I can probably answer his question for you.
You took a big deep breath there, like ah.
This is what Robbie thinks of the new Kramer stuff. Well, that's not it. Is that what you think? No, I think it's more of this.
Well, I'll tell you what. Before all this hype about these Beretta specials and everything lately, you know, in 2018, the bodies that they were using, the mahogany was better quality. So it was a little bit heavier, but it sounded a little better. And they had 2 3/16 neck pockets. So the only thing that was different was the barrel jack, which is going to go in this pretty soon. As you can see, I've been hard at work. The barrel jack that they used was countersunk. It wasn't smooth to the edge. It was countersunk and it went inside. And they also drilled a hole for the ground wire through the cavity into the pickup route.
Really?
Okay, so there'd be a hole there.
Mm-hmm.
Outside of everything else, it was basically the same thing. So you could take one of those bodies, shit can all the rest of the parts, and use like a Kramer neck with a 2 3/16 neck pocket, like a Lucido tilted banana, or even some of the pointy necks from like 86. They were still really good necks. And you could make like a Beretta pretty much use the body. So that was good. But now they're all 2 1/4 inch neck pockets. So you can't do that anymore. Okay. Which is kind of a bummer. I guess you could put a Charvel neck on there, make it into a Charvel, right? So I used to like that until they changed it. And it's always the same thing. It's a great guitar for the money. I'm spending $200 on this guitar, and it's really nice, and it plays really good, you know. But where I'm living at, $200. Of course, you know, I have to save like forever, you know, to buy something. And I just look at it like, well, that's $200 I could put toward, you know, a 90 or, you know, a non-tilt banana, you know, ESP grail neck, or even a ESP Lucido banana, even though it's tilted, you know, or put it toward buying like Floyd Rose from, you know, 83, 84, 85. You know, obviously I've been able to get a pretty good collection to give a couple of those away, you know, and I'm glad to the people that got them, and I hope they like them very much. But the kind of things that I build, you know, I mean, you could technically, you know, rework the neck pocket with wood and sand it, you know, strip all the paint down, send it out to get repainted, you know, fix the countersunk barrel jack. You know, obviously it's not that hard to drill your holes for your wood mounted Floyd screws, right? Wood mounted, right? Not inserts, no inserts. You know, and it's just the same thing. It's a good guitar for the money. It's better than a beginner guitar. The neck could probably be worked to play better. You know, like Michael MPN there, he's sending me the neck off of his. And I would have back bow it, and I would dress it like, you know, we did with Edwards necks. in 1984 and 1985, the way we did him then for what he was playing at that time. Remember, after 87, certainly after 88, that pretty much all went out the window, So all the stuff I do is from those years. That's what I do, and I'm gonna mount this nut. Don't get too excited there, R2. I'm gonna show this nut. Clip that one.
Hey now.
I've got this hot rod low profile locking nut, and I'm gonna file the shelf out on that Beretta Special neck, and I'm gonna drill and countersink and mount this sucker for him, and dress that neck, and I'm gonna dress that neck with with my wood plate with the blade out of it, and the stick and sand 220, and after it's backbowed, the frets are going to be lower to middle. Yeah, right. All the luthiers are pulling their hair out. Edward thought of this stuff, and every time I do a neck, I do it that way. And then when I've done with that, I'm going to make those crown lines so thin, almost gone. And then I'm going to absolutely steel wool the living piss out of that thing. That's exactly what he told me to do when he came running in with the 5150 neck that he just tore apart after he got it from Billy Connolly. Here it is, all done. Here's a 5150 Ed. He goes right to the assembly room and zips the holes out. Doesn't even detune the strings. It's like, I was running the freaking thing. Yeah. Don't tell anybody, Okay. That's the problem he had. Nobody would really listen to what he said because you're supposed to do it this way. You're supposed to do it that way. Mm-hmm. And, one of the biggest things he had the problem with was they were soldering in treble bleeds on his capacitors. And that's one of the things that they never really addressed. So that's one thing I got up on that is that, I know how to put them to ground off the hot right to the back of the potentiometer, and you get that warmer sound out of it, and you can judge that which capacitor you want to use, 022 volt, the ceramic orange drop, or if you want it warmer, you go with the oil-filled Mojo toner, the vitamin T. But
so
I'm not going to put those guitars down because a lot of people like them, and they're not a lot of money, and at least for this run of them, they weren't made in China. So, you get one from China that's made of plywood. I can't really support plywood guitar, but you gotta take your hat off to Gibson for doing a marketing campaign and getting these like nice ones out of Indonesia that are like made out of real wood, and now they're gonna like change the plywood because they want to all come out of the Gibson factory out in China, and they've been making plywood guitars for years and years. I remember the first time I had to work on one of those Gibson double necks, and my friend said, "Oh, it's a double neck. Oh man, maybe you should sell it to her." All that. So I gotta work on it, and I'm doing the work on it, and I'm looking at this thing, and I'm like, it's freaking plywood. This is no wonder it's so heavy. It's made out of plywood. Like $1,600 for a double neck. You think, oh, that's a good price. It's made out of plywood. It's just like, good Lord. So, beware if you're gonna go out there and get one of these things. Get one from Indonesia. If you have doubts, take the cover off the back and look. Now, you see little lines or ridges on the inside route. Man, that's plywood. If it's nice and smooth, that's real wood. It don't matter what kind of. Should be mahogany. Out of Gibson.
But if it sounds good, it is good, right? I mean,
it brings you a smile.
You go down another rabbit hole there because if you're going through a simulator, then it don't matter what pickup, what wood, what kind of bridge, all that stuff is totally computer generated. If you're going through a tube amp and you want that original kind of sound, you want the notes to really bloom, like really bloom. You want that feedback to like really take off by itself and split and sound like it's singing on its own.
Yep.
You know, you're not going to get that through a simulator, but it depends what you're doing. If you're playing gigs and you got a set list and you're doing all this stuff and, you know, you don't want to like drag in this like ancient amp that's really heavy and you could use your Kemper or whatever and it sound good for the gig, that's fine. That's great. That's just not what I do. So, you know, I want to make that clear that I'm not putting it down. It's just not what I do.
So it's basically for your money, you're going to spend it on older parts and build you something that you know is good quality as opposed to buying some of the new stuff, even though the new stuff is pretty good.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Kurt 5150 says he has a Kramer 84 and it's decent. He's upgraded the Floyd, but the neck is great.
Yeah, I've been wanting to get one of those.
Yep, I've played a couple of them.
That's probably a tilted sports neck on that Lutheran joint.
The Kramer 84. That's that's.
Oh, you mean the reissue 84?
Yeah.
The reissue of the Music Yo 84.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's different. Yeah.
Yeah. I've played a couple of them. There was a used one at a Guitar Center recently, and it's pretty good. You know.
It's a 12-inch fretboard radius, I believe.
Mm-hmm. Rob Blackmore says, "What size are those SSGs?" What's an SSG?
An SG with an extra.
What size are the SGs?
I don't know.
Scale length?
Let's see. Mike Olson says he also has one as well. Kurt 5150 solid guitar.
Mike's got a bunch of. Mike, how many guitars do you have, man?
Mike, we need to get you on here and go through your guitar collection.
Got like 30 of them, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe more.
Let's see. R2R3 has the same decorator as Bent Tom.
Yeah, because I had the background.
Oh yeah, the background going up there. I am so far back in the chat.
Always got a question for you.
Let's get Quentin James here real quick. Said, had a clanking sound on my Schecter. Turns out they used 2 different screws to mount the locking nut, and one didn't seat properly. Yeah. Yep. I played a Friedman Cali, and I was doing dive bombs, and I could hear it creaking down here where the nut was loose. Brought it to the guy at the counter and says, "You may want to tighten that nut." And he looked at me like I was crazy. Let's see. Holly Lewis, welcome in. Hope you're doing well. So there was a question from Holly somewhere, huh?
It's a little further down. You'll get there.
I'm getting there.
There's a Quentin. There's a Quentin from question. There's a question from Quentin. I can answer that, Quentin. I'm sure Robbie's talked about this. You guys all know. What's his bar do? No, here's a Schaller. I took it apart. Here's a Schaller Floyd Rose with the Jackson. It would have the small string screws, but this has the screw-on arm. See if I can...
We all know what Robbie thinks about those screw-on arms.
Right, the traditional screw-on arms.
Well, and that has the inserts on the knife's edges to compensate for the cheap steel they made the rest of it out of.
Yeah, see, the Schaller ones have the right there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but the ones that Robbie likes are like this here.
Yep.
Yes, that's the screw-in arm.
The screw-in arm.
If you order a 1984 version, it comes with that, correct?
Right. This is where I took this off of my 84 Floyd.
Mm-hmm.
Right, the reissue.
The reissue.
I know I'm picky about this stuff.
Yeah, but that's fine. That's all good. It's all well and good. Let's see.
Cool. That was cool. Thank you, R2.
Yeah.
Check. See.
Or R3, whoever you identify as today.
R5.
R5.
Yeah. Graphite and Cigar says we're not seriously saying plywood guitars are okay. I'm not saying that. Now, there might be a plywood guitar that sounds okay. And, you know, some new player might think that it sounds good and it's good for him for a starter guitar.
Makes him smile.
I wouldn't buy one. So
I would buy one.
no.
But you
I'm
got
not
people
saying
out there. You got people out there that don't even know they're plywood, and they sound good, and they're fine. They're fine with it.
that.
You have to respect that. You know, you just can't go around saying,
That's-
"Well, you're
that's
no
what
good.
My
You're
first
a bad man. You're a very bad
my
man."
first guitar was an Epiphone Strat copy with the banana headstock there.
Mhm.
Epiphone. I took the
I like that neck art too.
candy apple red. Yeah, isn't it
Yeah, I
cool?
like that. I'd strip the paint off that. I'd put a shelf on there, drill through for the Floyd countersink,
Right. Yeah.
and that's one piece, right? That's not a glue-on fretboard either.
No, it's not.
Yeah, that's a nice candidate for a 5150 there.
So it's a good neck, but the body that came with this guitar was plywood.
It was garbage. Yeah.
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 But it was my first guitar.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Let's see.
Chicken dinner.
Got to there. Let's see. Here we are. They should never make guitar bodies out of plywood. Not cool. I agree.
Yeah, but it's money.
Blackjack Guitar says he has 2 plywood Les Paul copies. They're heavy and they sound all right.
That's exactly what I'm talking about.
Mm-hmm.
You know, Epiphone does that, a lot of them. You know, and they've been doing it for years coming out of that factory.
Yeah, back in the 80s and 90s.
Patty Dill says that she would. I'm so far back in the chat, I don't know what we were talking about when you said that. So, let's see.
Contact the comments.
Mike Olson says 42 guitars.
Oh, man. I said 30. I was off.
Wow.
You have 42 guitars, Mike Olson. Wow.
And
Definitely have to get you on here and show some more of those off.
40 of them his wife doesn't know about.
Right? She's like, where'd that guitar come from? Oh, this old thing? It's been in the closet for years. Holly Lewis, are you on Facebook? Yes. Six Fingers says he has not forgotten. I'll show some guitars on Sunday, Chat and Jam. All right. Yeah, we'll see you on Sunday then. Let's see.
There you go, brother.
Mike says he went crazy buying them up in Vegas. The used market was cheap. Probably a very, very good move.
Yeah, I know he has a couple of Wolfgang made in Japan guitars.
I think there's a transparent black Axis that hangs on the wall as well. Was that Mike that had that?
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's see. So many good guitars now for sale that are great quality for a good price. This is true. Even, you know, like some of the new Gibson Epiphone stuff is getting really, really good. That PRS, you know, low model SE that I bought, you know, it's fair for what it is. I've said it many times that, you know, the guitars that are out today for beginners, if I had had that when I was a kid, I would have been over the moon. You know, the stuff that we had to start with, like your Epiphone that you had there, R2, R3.
Yeah. Mike Olson, we'll talk later, brother.
I was just about to say that. I just highlighted it. Give me a call. Give me a call. My email's in the description over there. Yeah. Dan Gorman, what do you think about a rocking cigar box guitar? Probably wouldn't be my cup of tea.
What do you think about Rocket Cigar Box? Yeah. Yeah.
Let's see. Oh, you wait one too. All my guitars are left-handed.
Brennan B. Squared makes good cigar boxes. It's a good friend of ours.
There is a company, I think, right around here in the Atlanta area that makes oil can guitars, I believe.
Yeah.
I forget the name of it. I think Johnny showed a couple of them at the Nashville location, Guitar Center. Let's see. My Explorer is an Epiphone. Can we still be friends? Absolutely.
For sure, brother.
Come here behind the shed. I need to show you something.
You know, it depends what Explorer it is. You know, they were making Explorers that weren't made out of plywood that were better than the Explorers that Gibson was coming out with. So that was a touch and go.
Well, there you go. Quentin, we got Trev right there. He has an
Yep. Trev's got his
100% we
going.
can still be friends.
And look at that. It's 24 fret, correct?
Yep.
Yeah.
That's a nice looking guitar there, Trev.
I like it.
And it's got,
What-
the cool pickups.
What are the specs on that one? It's mahogany
I believe
body.
it's mahogany. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the Fishmans.
You're right.
But the proprietary Fishmans, John DeShane was saying they sounded like his moderns, I think.
Mm-hmm.
So you've got the overwound single coil, and you got the burst buckers and the modern humbucker. Yeah, it's great. Locking tuners.
What's
I'll
the
never
wood
go
on
back to not locking tuners.
What's the wood on the fretboard? Is it dark?
It's
ebony?
ebony.
Is it ebony? Okay.
Ebony, yeah.
Yeah. Very cool. Yeah, that's a really, really nice looking guitar.
It's cold. It needs to warm up a little.
I'm not that far down in the chat. Let's see. Holly Lewis says, "Can you come find me? Holly Lewis Music. Only if you want to be friends. If not, you wouldn't be the first."
Oh, Holly,
Yeah.
you're awesome.
I'll come find you, Holly.
Holly's in my shout out video
Yeah.
twice.
Very
it out.
cool. Very
Check it
cool.
out.
Janice says she is left-handed, but Janice has learned to play right-handed, from what I understand. Yep. Now, I was technically told many years ago, I forget who told me this, that there never should have ever been a left-handed guitar. So that people that play left-handed should have learned to play the guitar because it's a guitar. That's the way that it is.
Don't tell
You don't
Zach
change the
Pond
way
that.
the piano keeps running up and down.
I was just about to say there's not a left-handed piano. You know, well, I guess you could do your drums left-handed, but I'm not going to start that debate and that argument.
Now, correct me if I'm wrong. I don't remember his name. My mind's going blank. The guitar player that played with Eric Clapton. The guitar player that played with Eric Clapton live on stage. He played the guitar, I believe, upside down, backwards, where the high strings were on the top and the low strings were at the bottom.
Is that Jack Bruce?
No, not Jack Bruce. It was when Eric Clapton was doing his solo.
Oh, okay.
Solo tours.
With Knopfler. That was amazing. But
And I saw his guitar player on stage, and I noticed that the high E string was at the top where the low E string would be.
Mm.
And I'm like, wait a minute, this guy's playing with Eric Clapton backwards. And he played everything just, man. Yeah, there it is. Doyle Bramhall. There, I see the people in the chat know what I'm talking about.
Well, good.
Thank you.
There's always somebody that knows more than yourself.
What winds up happening, guys, is when the live button goes on, the lights over here, and you're live, your head goes blank. All the knowledge you know, you go, I know that answer, and you go, oh.
You start losing your memory. Yep. Let's see. I've been thinking about buying an Explorer kit guitar. If I buy it, it's going to get hacked up into a shark. Cool, man. Like to see that. Let's see. Holly says, I had 2 other questions way back up. Should I Pete and repeat them? Yes. I evidently I've missed them.
Should you pee? Oh, Pete. What?
I did a video where R2R3 Lock and Nut calls me. Let's see.
It's crazy.
Yeah, there's no left-handed laptops or numeric keypads. That's correct. Let's see. Sorry, I'm trying to get everybody's questions here.
Let me ask a question for the left-handed people there. If you're left-handed, what hand do you use the mouse on the computer?
Right.
Okay.
You have to, for gaming, you have to adapt.
Well, I'm curious because I injured my hand one time and I had to work and I had my arm in a sling and I couldn't use, I'm right-handed. And so I had to use the mouse left-handed and I felt awkward with it. I was like, huh, what? I don't know what to do here. I felt like a beginner. So that was my question. I know it sounds silly, but
Jana says she uses her left hand on a mouse. You know, they used to
Really?
make the mouse that had the little curve in it, right? So then they
Yeah.
started making it with the curve the other way for left-handed people.
wow.
Or they would have it just ambidextrous. Let's see. Holly Lewis is asking her question here. Robbie, can you repeat your knowledge about the plexi origin, where they utilized the plexiglass? Chris Gill told me a story. Thank you.
Chris Gill, my man.
Yeah, well, you know, in the 60s, the Marshall was making a super lead, you know, and they used a piece of plexiglass on the face where all the potentiometers are. It says volume, tone, presence, all that. That's where the name came from.
And I think
Now,
Trev is about to point to his.
in the 70s, they went to, you know, brushed metal, like a goldish kind of color. That's the kind I had. I had a 71 super lead 100 watt, you know, no solid state preamp in it. And that was referred to as a plexi too. And they pretty much referred to all the amps as plexis until they came out with the JCM 800. That was the first hybrid amp. It had a solid state preamp in it. You know, he still had some preamp tubes, but they were routed into a solid state. This is kind of like all the amps, like all the EVH amps are like that. You know, pretty much all of the orange amps, stuff like that. Those all have solid state preamps, you know, and that's where you started to get your saturated newer metal tones, and it finally went into totally solid state, like Dimebag, you know, played, and you know, your metal tones and stuff. This is like oversaturated, like all more of a solid state-ish kind of thing. But that was the era of the plexi amp. And that's why I went for the Studio Vintage 20 watt from Marshall, because it was just a recreation of the super lead I had, except in 20 watts, and it has the attenuator. So it's like it's got your little built-in Ed Variac just built right into it. So you could, you know, if you put it on 5 watts, you can turn it up higher. You know, you get like a more rockin' tube sound out of it. So that's kind of like the thing I do. But I hope that kind of explains it.
Very cool. She has a second question that you can probably field here. Sticky fine tuner oil. What is your best advice? Thank you.
Well, this is something you have to be careful with. That's one of my main beefs of the newer Floyd Roses is that the fine tuners have too much play in them. The tolerances aren't really tight. When we first got them, you know, or even before I was there, the tolerances on them, the fine tuners are really tight. They were really tight in that thread, and that's really good. Yeah, just a little drop of oil in there if it's sticking, should be good. You know, I mean, I know there's people out there that like replace the fine tuner. I'd never do that. I know you could put the new fine tuner in there. You can, you know, you could kind of like close the little part that's cut on the end of the fine tuner that brings it out to stop it from coming all the way out. But you are messing with those threads in that base plate, and I never do that. I never do that. That's one of the reasons why all my Floyds are, you know, the older kind that had the tighter tolerances. So you don't have that play in the fine tuner, because that's going to contribute to having it go out of tune slightly, maybe. You know, it's like you know, having the regular screw into the wood and not having the insert. because the machine screw moves to the insert, you know? Now, Ryan's mentioned about does it sound better if it's the wood screw into the wood? And it depends. If you're going through a whole tube thing, no solid state, you're not computer, you're manipulating the sound, you might be able to tell. For the most part, you can't really tell too much. And if you put some tape on those machine threads to stop that stud from moving, then it could be decent as long as you got it where it needs to be. You put that tape on there, put it where it has to go, and you should be good. It's, that I do something like that. But yeah, I'm not into replacing the fine tuners because you're dealing with some threads there. Now, if they made the replacements with a slightly bigger thread size, and they came with or you had the little tap, so you could tap it to the bigger size. So when you put the new one in, even though it would be slightly bigger, the tolerances would be way tighter, and then you could nick the end so it doesn't come out. That would probably be better. But they're not doing that. They're just said, yeah. Like I said, I'm really picky about all that stuff.
So you've had, I think we had that conversation before that some people were talking about, like you were saying, you take the fine tuner out and it's got that little mushroom at the end. And if you continue to go to take it out to try to replace it, you're spreading out the threads on it. So.
Right. But you can take pliers and squeeze that together. But at the same time, when you're doing that, you might bugger the thread, which is going to mess up your threads coming out of the base plate too. Mm. Yeah. I don't do that. It's just something I don't do.
John Deshane says he plays the... Wait. I play the out of my new Floyds and the fine tuners are just fine. Most of mine are good. I can tell the difference on the Mexican-made Wolfgang specials that I have. The tuners aren't as smooth, as the USA Floyd, or not the USA, but the USA Wolfgangs that have the actual German Floyd on them. It's so much smoother, you can tell a quality difference between the two. What
I just like a really tight, man. Like that one I got on the Vanguard, that 83. The 83 that I got that was never used, new old stock, right out of the box, the plastic and everything. Those fine tuners are just, there is absolutely no play in them at all. They are stiff.
Oh, R2, R3 is one back in. Welcome back, dude.
Oh, thanks, man. I walked out the back and the door locked behind me.
You had to run catch a dog?
Squirrel.
Oh, squirrel.
Getting hungry?
Well, you know what you can do for a squirrel.
Oh, I was waiting for it. Boom.
You could make pizza.
Oh, Trev.
Man,
I don't know what is that.
I'm hungry again. That's his chicken fricassee, he said.
Oh, okay. Yeah, looks good.
Yeah, it looks outstanding, dude. Hmm.
Sure, muted.
That looks like a
Yeah,
festival.
that's chicken fricassee.
Let's see. Holly Lewis says, I don't want to mislead anyone that I play electric guitar. I don't. I'm asking for a friend who does. Appreciate all you sharing your expert knowledge.
Oh, Holly, you're awesome.
If you could call it expert knowledge, okay, we'll go with that.
Expert.
Yeah, a lot of information here in this chat. Mike Olson is asking, where has Amanda been? I think that she has been super, super busy. She said she was going to try to come on stream tonight, but haven't seen her. So
it's all right.
Yeah, she's been super, super busy. Let's see.
We don't nothing against her.
No, not at all. Wind the fine tune all the way in and cut the bottom of the thread off with a grinder. That way it doesn't tap the hole bigger on removal. That's one way to do it. Seems like an awful lot of work. I would prefer like Quentin was saying earlier, I'll just throw it away and get a new Floyd before I have to do all that. Let's see. Dan Gorman says he's taking a shot every time Robbie says, and he is now wasted.
You know.
Here,
Robbie was talking about the fine tuners on the Floyd Rose. Here's a EVH branded Floyd Rose.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's a licensed buy?
Yeah, so that's the EVH branded. This was on the USA Wolfgang that I own, and I replaced it with a German Floyd Rose. What I noticed, and I know Philip McKnight has mentioned this as well, that the fine tuners on these are very tight.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they are stiff. They are hard to turn when you're trying to fine tune the guitar. I don't know if sometimes that's a good thing. That may be a bad thing. I just didn't like the way they felt.
What year USA Wolf did they come off of?
This is a 2010.
Really?
Yeah.
See, mine are smooth as silk. My Stealth is from whatever the first year they came out with the USA Stealth. I think that was
2015? No.
2011 or 12, I think.
Oh, 12. Yeah, you're right.
And that thing is just smooth as butter.
Really?
My understanding is that they are now putting the Floyd 1000 even on the USA versions.
See,
and that
I know these are not brass. I know on the German Floyd Rose, they're brass fine tuners on there.
Yeah. But this USA signature supposedly has the 1000 Floyd on it, and it is just smooth as butter as well.
Really?
So I don't know if there's something that they're doing at the factory that
I had to change. Now I know on the the EVH branded Floyd Rose licensed by would be the equivalent of a Floyd Rose 1000, but the only difference is it's branded saying EVH.
Yeah.
Now this is not. It doesn't feel cheap. It has weight to it. I know it's some kind of metal on there. I know it's not brass, but when I take off a German Floyd Rose, I don't know if you guys can see that.
Yep.
You can see the brass in there. You see the FR.
Yep.
So these are brass blocks that are chrome plated. This also says Floyd Rose, but I know I've taken this thing apart. It's not brass. I'm not saying it's a bad thing.
Yeah.
But I just know when I put the German Floyd Rose on my USA Wolfgang, it did sound a lot better. I mean, the tuning stability, the feel of it. All of the Floyd Rose guitars that I have are all either Schaller German Floyd Rose or all original German Floyd Rose. So when I played this one right away, the fine tuners, I go, man, for a USA made guitar, this feels stiff. Yeah. I was watching a Philip McKnight video, and he was talking about how it felt a little awkward for him, and the German Floyd Rose felt a little bit smoother and sturdier. And then when I started taking all this apart, because I love taking things apart and trying to figure out the whole mechanisms, and that's when I started realizing the German Floyd Rose did come with the brass. These are not brass, but it's some type of metal, which are sturdy. Could be steel.
Yeah.
Yeah. And is Rob still out here? Still in here, should I say?
Rob Blackmore official?
Rob Blackmore, yeah. I know he was having issues with the D-tuner. I wonder if yeah, there he is.
He's in here.
I wonder if he got that resolved.
I don't know. Maybe he'll pipe up in the chat and tell us.
Well, I got this one. This is the Floyd I would have put on the double neck I'm going to build. And it's got the fine tuners are nice. They're not like super tight on them, but that's got the that's got good tolerances on that. And this is the This is the pre-patent block with no serial number on it. No serial number on it. And these were always brass back then.
Yeah.
And this is one of the thin ones, the thinner plate that we took apart at the factory to use because Schaller made us a bunch of these for like Gibson guitars and nobody bought them. And they had this like big bass on them and all these little springs underneath, and but the rest of it was fine. So you just didn't have a block on it. So we put blocks on them. My other Vanguard, my blue one, has one of those on there with the saddles have the lines on top to show which position they go in. But yeah, this is the one I'm going to use on the double neck. I'm going to have Kyle at Dive Bomb make me a Pacer Special Poplar body that's just a little bit wider, so I put 2 necks on it, and the top will be a fixed string, 12 string, and the bottom's going to be the Floyd Rose, and each neck is going to have one pickup. Each one's going to get a 78 Custom Shop Seymour Duncan Alnico 2 staggered windings by Marcelo Juarez.
Nice.
And they're going to the wiring is going to be so simple, not like the Gibson double neck where you got to go through all this crap. It's just going to be 2 potentiometers, one for each pickup, and a 3-way switch, and that's it.
So when are you starting to work on that?
I'm still getting parts. I've got both necks. I've got a Lucido Lutheran joint that was never used in '85 because after the glue and the Lutheran joint thing, they wouldn't let any necks out that were Lutheran joints. And Lucido actually put a little tab on the end of that to strengthen it. So it's got this like little extra tab in the Lutheran joint, and that's an R5 neck. And that's going to be the 6 string. And then 12 string, I have a pretty darn rare 12 string Kramer neck that's going to be on the 12 string part.
Wow.
Yeah, I got that for I think it was $110. I'd never seen one. I've never seen one since.
I think you should make, with the banana headstock, do one normal and one reverse so that you can make feet out of it. And then on the other end of your 12 string, put a little piece that looks like a head and put your face on it. And then you could call that guitar the Animal.
The Animal. Yes.
Oh, no, I'm not messing with the headstock on a 12 string. It's not it. It's ready to go. So, and that has the 12 string. They had a shape for the 12 string. It was not really a beak, but kind of ish. And then the Lucido banana tilted the 85, and it was built July 4th, 1985. So literally born on the 4th of July.
Nice.
I don't know what I'm going to do on the paint with that. I might do some sort of bumblebee thing.
Yeah, cool. Rob Blackmore had said that he's going to have to order a new D-Tuna for his guitar. I saw those. I saw one of those hats at Guitar Center. Is that where you got that?
That's where I bought it. Yeah.
Yeah.
I had to get one of these Fender hats.
Speaking of stuff at Guitar Center, any Van Halen fans here?
Oh yeah. Is that the chrome one? Yeah.
Yeah.
I got this from the Van Halen store. I got the gold.
The gold one. Yeah. Yeah. It's kind of a puffy sticker on the back of it.
I got a chrome one right here on my Marshall.
Yeah, I was going to stick one of these on my rack cabinet back there, but I don't know. What do you think? I should do a giveaway?
Oh, hey now.
Hey. Let's see how many people we have in the...
Even this base plate. Well, wait.
No, go ahead.
Even this base plate. This is from 1984. This is the thicker one, with the coupling screw in. And these fine tuners, they've got good tolerances too. You can't really move them too much. they're pretty tight in there. So yeah, I'd always want, like, if you're gonna build a Floyd, the base plate's the most important part.
Mm-hmm.
To get a good base plate, that it's made out of good steel.
There you go. Yeah.
Yep. Nothing like your old 80s Floyds and parts, Robbie.
Well, that's what I think anyway.
Know your stuff on that. So we have 36 that are watching according to my YouTube.
Right on, man.
Let me refresh.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Refresh
36
everybody.
watching. Yeah. And we only have 32 entries.
What?
So if you're hanging out and you're lurking in the chat, type something in the chat and you'll get entered, and we're going to do a little giveaway. It's just a little Van Halen sticker. So type something in the chat and we'll do a little giveaway here in a few minutes.
Right on, man. When's the next time you're going to be on? Sunday?
Yeah, I'll probably do something Sunday.
Sunday?
Just depending on when Trev tells me I can go on. I got to check with him first.
Go on whenever you like.
Yeah.
All right, Sunday. I'll do a giveaway.
Awesome.
Got something in the box here
What's in the box?
for a lucky
Ooh,
winner.
the mystery box.
Got a mystery box here that I'll ship out to somebody.
Very cool. Very cool. So we'll do that on Sunday. Six Fingers says, if I win, send it to Patty. Very cool. Let's see. Octopus Ear saying hey to Ryan Hall. I didn't see Ryan Hall sneak in. There he is. He was lurking.
Ryan Hall.
So now he's entered in.
There you go.
Patty Dills typed something in the chat. There we go.
Good to see you, Ryan Hall.
Hit Metalworks. Typing. Let's see. How many we got registered now? Still says 32. 34 watching. So a couple people didn't want to win anything, I guess. So that's the thing that over here, just like, when Robbie does his giveaways, that you got to be in the chat when your name is drawn. So somebody, Hit Metalworks typed in H90. That kind of reminded me of something that we were going to talk about a little bit. We've kind of gone a little longer than I thought. I know Laz is going to be going live tonight, 10:30 my time. So that's in about 50 minutes or so. So maybe we'll go just a few more minutes, but we can talk Sunday about this. A lot of people have asked, what they can do to kind of get, kind of Eddie's detune tone, like what I'm running here, on a bit more of a budget friendly kind of thing. So maybe we'll have that for Sunday. We'll talk about that a little bit.
Yeah, we'll do that Sunday, definitely.
Yeah, sounds good. Let's see. Catch up with the chat here. Rob Blackmore says, my Wolfgang is from Mexico and fine tuners are decent. I have to use the fine tuners just a little bit. Holly Lewis is saying there's only 25 thumbs up. So a couple more thumbs up. I'm going to refresh my browser. You guys can refresh yours if you like. Make sure the numbers are right. Let's see. There we go. We got 25 now. 32 watching still.
Where's Laz? How come he's not in here?
I don't know. Somebody was typing Laz and... Oh, that's you.
Holly did it. And I had to do it.
Gotcha. Let's see. All right. So let's go ahead and do that. We'll do the giveaway, and then we'll call it a night, and then we can all go watch Laz. Let's see. Do that. Get this pulled up. Still showing 32 entries, so if you're in here... Boy, people are just filing out now. Nobody wants to win. I show 30 watching now.
Oh, come on.
Where these people go? You got to be in the chat to win. Come on now.
Go. Oh, they head for the hills, man.
Yeah. You say you're going to give away a sticker and everybody starts leaving.
I'm out of here.
Yeah.
I want
All
what's in the box.
I was just teasing. I'm going to give away a... No. No, we got a Van Halen puffy
today's
sticker.
Giveaway is going to be this. No, I'm just kidding.
All right, so let's get set here. Let's see. All right, I think we've given everybody enough chances to type something in the chat. So should probably go ahead and just draw, right?
So
Do it.
if you're just typing in the chat, you win. That's it.
No, it enters you in here, and then I got to do the spin. So
okay. I don't know if you had to type in number 1 hashtag.
no,
win.
just anybody that's typing anything at all in the chat, they're already registered in.
Everybody type in "Where's Amanda?" and you might win.
I just saw this comment from Six. He says my detuned sound cost me $20,000, so don't ask me about cheap options. I can
Did you buy
relate.
the actual H3000? Oh,
The H3000. Jeez,
oh my gosh! How much that thing cost? That's on.
I don't know. That's the old piece of gear, right?
That's the
I don't
two
have
piece.
that. I don't have that. I do have the SDE 3000s. I've got 2 of those, but the detune is from the more modern micro pitch.
From the Eclipse, correct? Right?
Yes. All right, so are we ready to draw now? I know Robbie's just itching for me to pull the trigger. All right.
Oh, he did type in the animal there.
Yeah, I typed it in for him. So
Oh, okay.
okay, are we ready? Here we go.
Here we go. And the winner is
Zach
Thong,
Thong.
man.
You are the winner of the Van Halen sticker. So Zach Thong, you have won.
Congratulations, Zach.
Is Zach Thong here? I saw him typing earlier. Is he here? You gotta be here, brother. There he is. Cool. So Zach, my email is in the description of the YouTube description. Just send me an email where to send this, and off it goes. I hope you don't live in, like New Zealand or Australia or something like that.
Canada.
He is in Canada.
Oh
He's
boy.
close to Toronto.
So that'll
So
be
that's going to cost me $50 to send
$50 shipping and handling.
That's all good though. Just tell me where to ship it and off it goes.
Should fit in an envelope. Shouldn't be too bad.
Yeah, it shouldn't be bad at all.
Ship
So-
it to Michigan, take a boat, and then meet you. No.
Yeah. Have somebody meet you at the border, they can toss it across. Neither of you have to cross, don't need your passport or anything. So
Zach, gotcha.
yeah, exactly. So now we had a good turnout tonight. I think this was the most I've had in one of my streams. So continuing to grow. Appreciate
Right on, brother.
everybody stopping in and hanging out. Appreciate everybody in the chat coming by and just listening to us ramble on. So yeah, let's do it again Sunday.
Let's do it to it.
All right. Well, thanks everybody for coming. And let me see if I got anything fancy that I can do here. Let's see. No, nothing too fancy. Still trying to learn all this software and get all these cool things down, but we can head out with a little bit of a background music. How about that? So, again, Zach, send me your information, where to send this to. Email is in the description over there. And thanks everybody again for coming. Hope everybody enjoyed the TransTrem talk. If you got any questions about it, you can email me, ask me. I'll be happy to answer it up for you. And yeah, we'll see everybody again next time.
To the next episode.